Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Startup Standouts. I am Samantha, and today I am joined by Tyler Grant, who operates out of our Jacksonville, Florida markets. Tyler is 15 and he owns Tyler's Rocks and Gems. How are you today, Tyler?
I'm great, ma'am.
Awesome. Can you just go ahead and tell us a little bit about your business and how long you've been coming to markets?
So, my business, I sell gemstones and fossils. I've been running this business for about 3 years now.
Awesome. So did you start running the business when you heard about the markets, or was this a passion that you had beforehand? And then when you heard about the markets, you just kind of naturally transitioned into it?
Originally, I just collected rocks and fossils as a hobby. When I figured out about the markets, now I do it as a business. I did not think about selling my gemstones and fossils before I heard about it.
So when you originally were collecting fossils and stuff, was it mostly for your own, like, oh, I really like this fossil, I really like this gem, and this is for my personal collection? I would assume that's how you approached it before.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And then how'd you transition from that to then kind of, I would imagine your scope kind of opened up as you realized that you could get more gems and try to think about like what other people might want to purchase. Was that a transition that you kind of had to make?
Yes, ma'am. I had to get in touch with more people in the gem community to buy in larger quantities to fill up my inventory.
Okay. Can you tell me more about your connections and how you source all those gems? That's really interesting to me.
So I buy wholesale from gem shows. I have a person that I've met at a gem show. He runs out of Morocco, and I've buy vanadinite from him. It's a Moroccan mineral. It's beautiful. And it took me a while to start getting my connections. My first connection was Randy. He's a great guy. I still know him to this day, and he really got me into gems and minerals.
Awesome. Was that before or after you started your business? Like what triggered you wanting to get into rocks and stones before you heard about the markets and you turned it into a business?
I'm gonna be honest, I do not know the answer to that. I've been picking up stones and putting them in my pocket since I was 5, so it's just been a hobby since.
That's awesome. So it's a natural interest of yours.
Yes, ma'am.
That's awesome. So what was it like when you first heard about the markets and how did you decide that? Because obviously you had the passion for the gems and fossils and rocks, but how did you decide that that was going to be your business?
So when I originally heard about the business, I don't remember everything. This was about 3 years ago when I heard about it. My mom told me there was markets down in Green Cove, a little a ways where we live, and I kind of wanted to see if I could sell my gems there. So I brought a little box of amethyst and some other stones and set up a table. And that's really when I realized that I could actually do something with my little hobby.
Amethyst is actually that's my birthstone. So I love those. What was the response like at your very first market where you were like, "Oh yeah, that's people like this. I can make this a business."
Well, my first market, I don't remember exactly everything about it. I do remember that most important thing with my first market was just being kind to the customers and greeting them and asking them a couple polite questions while they're looking around my table. All I remember is my bestseller was my amethyst. I almost ran out of it in my first market.
That's awesome. How did that feel? I know you said you can't remember a ton, but that feeling of it's your very first market and you've already almost sold out of this product that you brought. How did that feel?
It felt great because it made me realize that I could actually make a full business out of this instead of just maybe selling it on the side.
Did you, when it comes to sourcing your inventory now and figuring out what you need to bring to markets, have you noticed like certain demographics, like certain stones? So you kind of make sure you stock up on your most popular ones. Can you just tell me a little bit about how you like decide which ones to bring to a market?
So first, I've realized where the market is going to be held. If it's in like the trade shows, I will bring more higher end product and prettier product and more home decor. If it's somewhere like the arts market, I will bring less home decor and more just nice stones. How I do with stocking my bestsellers, I make sure I have at least one tray and a backup tray each show I go to for my bestsellers. Right now, those are little animal minifigures. I got those at my last wholesale show I went to, and they've been doing pretty good. I see that different people like different things, but overall, my bestseller since start when I got them is sharks. There's little sharks that are glued onto a stone base. Those have been working for me for a while.
That's awesome. That's very cool. You talked about how when someone comes into your booth, you kind of ask them polite questions and chat with them a little bit. What are some other ways that you kind of draw people to your booth and get them to stop and check out your products?
Just being active, not sitting around on your phone or texting somebody, talking to your friends, or walking off. Just being present at your booth is one big thing that I can tell people that want to get into this. Because if you're not present at your booth, people will just walk past you thinking you're just another person trying to sell stuff. I highly recommend just trying to get to know the customer on a friendly basis, say good morning, ask them a question before they walk a little too far, just a basic question like, how's your day going? Just to get them to stop and talk to you for a minute, and then you can slowly build them into your booth.
Okay, so that's while they're walking by, you're trying to chat with them at just saying hello and things like that.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, gotcha. That makes sense. What would you say were some of your earliest challenges coming to the market, starting up your business that you kind of had to overcome? Because that was 3 years ago. So I know you've had challenge. Everyone has had challenges, right?
Yes, ma'am.
But you've had time to overcome them. So can you tell me a little bit about those?
Really, my first couple of markets, my challenge was just kind of getting out of my shell. I kind of just, didn't want to talk to people that much for my first market, so I was just like in my little shell. My biggest overcome would probably be just coming out of my shell and actually just learning to talk to people on a friendly basis. That's why I recommend for everybody that wants to get started, just customer relations, best thing possible. And my other problem to overcome was getting more inventory at the start when I had no relations then, because the only person I could buy from was people selling it for retail price.
That makes sense. I'm very curious about the your relations, but back to getting out of your shell. Was there a moment for you where you kind of sometimes I talk to people and it's like there was a moment where they were like, "Wait a minute, I can do this. I can, like the confidence came in that moment." And with other people, it might be a little bit more gradual. Was there a moment for you where you were like, "Oh, wait, I can actually do this," or was it a slow growth for you?
So it was a bit of both. After my third market, I realized just me slowly becoming nicer and nicer and talking a little more to the customer really helped with my business a lot. And that's when I realized you'd have to kind of come out of your shell to sell your product and use your booth correctly.
Yeah, that makes sense. So back to your connections, can you just tell me a little bit about the behind the scenes of how you got those connections? Because that's always like I go to Costco. That's the only wholesale, business I know about. So can you just share a little bit? Because I know you talked about you had the guy out of Morocco. Can you just talk about how you ended up getting those connections beyond the retail?
So when this was at the Jacksonville Gem and Mineral Show, is where I met him. Him and his wife ran a pretty large booth there, and I was talking to him. I'm part of the Jacksonville Gem and Mineral Society that actually hosts that. So the day before the show actually started, I was there helping people, bringing them breakfast and bringing them lunch on a cart. And that's when I really started to get to know him. He was a very nice guy. He had a very large statement piece that I liked, and we talked about it for a while. Next day of the show, I talked to him some more politely and brought him some water bottles because their water bottles were empty, just took away their trash and helped customers while I was in the bathroom. Main thing is we're all humans. We have to just get to know each other before you can build relations.
I love that. That's so smart. That's a good piece of advice for people who might be listening too, is sometimes you just got to get your foot in the door and it's not always glamorous. Sometimes that is, taking care of trash or bringing them their coffee and making sure you build that relationship and that rapport with that person, not just so you can get something out of it, but it does start on a human level. So I love that story. As you have continued to go to markets over the last 3 years, how have you had to adapt your booth, or how have you grown your business over that time? Whether it's, the amount of inventory that you bring, the variety of inventory that you bring, how you do your marketing, your signage, just how has your business adapted and grown over that time?
So over the years of doing this, I've grown in inventory, in booth size, really in every way. Biggest thing that I've grown in is confidence and getting to know people better.
That's awesome. Yeah, that makes sense. Do you have a favorite product of yours that when people um, come up to your booth, you can recommend for them?
Probably my little amethyst cathedrals. They're nice pieces of limestone with amethyst wrapped around the front, and they're just beautiful pieces.
Oh, that's awesome. Do you have a favorite memory from participating in the markets that you maybe you share with people, or is just a memory that you hold dear?
Really not a big memory. There's are a couple, like I have a couple little kids come by and wanted to get a stone and they can't. So I just, kind of gave them the stone so they could walk away and they were really happy. Just kind of small memories like that.
That's really sweet. I love that. Have you ever had a product at a market where, because you said the amethysts sell well, the little animals sell well, have there ever been products where you thought that they would do really well, and then when you showed it, maybe you tried one market, maybe a couple markets, they just really didn't?
So I do have a couple like that. I bought mosasaurus teeth from the guy that I built relations in Morocco. I bought a whole tray of 25 of those. I still have 23. Those I thought would sell well, and I kind of watched Jurassic World. That's probably why. And I've seen that the market for them when I bought them was already going down, and people kind of started not understanding what creatures like that were. So it just looks like a gator tooth to some people. So
She said that those
yeah,
were dinosaur teeth?
yes, ma'am. It's the mosasaurus. It's lived around the dinosaur age.
Okay, wow, and I'm surprised those didn't sell well. You said people, you just don't think people knew what they were?
Yes, ma'am. I had a couple signage, but I think some people just really didn't realize what they were originally. So that product I kind of brought off and now trying to figure out what to do with it.
That makes sense. So for you, you're 15, you've been doing the markets for 3 years. What's next for you within or outside of your business?
The next few years I would like to do is I would like to put up a store on Etsy to start selling online on a platform that people are familiar with. And with my business in person, I would like to start building up more jewelry and more appeal to the normal wear, to maybe some rings and some necklaces, just to start getting into that area.
That's very smart. That's a great idea. I worry that kids who are younger think that it's only for older kids, and I worry that kids that are older think it's only for younger kids. What would you say to another teenager who is thinking about it but isn't quite sure that they want to go to a kids market and try it out?
Just for other kids that would like to try this out, I recommend that if you really are thinking about doing this and maybe you think it's only for little kids or maybe you're a little kid and think it's only for older kids, it's not. I've seen 6-year-olds selling little crochet kits that they made themselves, and I've seen 16-year-olds selling cakes and cupcakes, and that they all do what they want to do and they have a great time at the market. And it's for any kid my age or younger or older.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. So where can we look for you next? You mentioned Etsy, but I know that's not up yet. So can we for now find you on just at Jacksonville Markets, or do you have any social media that we can find you at?
So I do have a social media account. It's on Instagram. It is at Tyler's Rocks and Gems. Has a little chess logo. I post on there a little bit frequently. I'm starting to post a little more after the break of the markets. And my next market's going to be March 28th. I forgot the location of that.
That's okay.
March 20th. Sorry.
Okay, sounds good. And this will probably come out after March. But we can find you at Jacksonville markets just in the future in general.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much, Tyler. This has been great. And thank you all for tuning in again for another episode of Startup Standouts. And we will see you in the next one.